Hello guys, this is your friend Naruto Audio Fanfics and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto formed an extreme older women harem with Tsunade, Mei, Kurenai, Anko, Mabui, Shizune, Samui, Karen, Konan, Yugito, and all other mature kunoichi of Konoha, Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. You alright, I managed to heal you, said a crimson-haired woman to a bedridden Mizuki in a bed. From the looks of it he was in an apartment. What happened? He was interrupted when a hand touched his face soothingly. He looked and saw the most beautiful woman he ever seen as he blushed. Don't worry, you are safe now, smiled the woman showing her serene crimson eyes. Mizuki looked at her dreamily as he blushed at the soothing contact as the woman kept caressing his face. So as time went on, Mizuki fell in love with the woman that kept tending to his needs. He even told her what happened and she told him she didn't care as she cared for him. Mizuki was touched. Although he had a girlfriend, he knew he had to leave her to be with the goddess before him. Her name was Kira and she was his savior. When he confessed to her, she suddenly cried as she hugged, screaming that even though she wants to be with him she can't. He asked her why and she said that she was with someone else. Mizuki's eyes went wide and then told her to leave him and that he will protect her. Kira flinched in his arms as she then said that she can't because she was scared. He asked her why she was scared and she said exactly this. I can't leave him, he is the Kyuubi. I didn't know at first, I thought he was a nice guy, but he enslaved me saying that he will kill me if I leave him. As she then left his embrace as her red kimono showed a bit of her skin making Mizuki blush, but then he saw little scratch marks on her chocolate skin. Mizuki saw red as he saw scars. How dare that demon threaten and hurt his goddess, he should have killed him when he had the chance. Mizuki was about to go but was stopped by Kira as she asked what he was going to do. He told her he was going to kill the demon brat. So she then came up to him as all of a sudden she kissed him on the cheek. Mizuki looked ready to faint as he wanted to kiss Kira on her lips when he was suddenly stopped by her finger silencing him. My love, when you kill him we shall live together forever, Mizuki nodded furiously as he looked determined. Kira then went to a cupboard and brought out a red pill and gave it to him. Mizuki asked what it was when she told him it was a weapon that will give him the power to defeat the Kyuubi and that she and him can beat him together. So Kira told him where Naruto was as Mizuki nodded his thanks while he took the pills. He hugged her and ran to the Hokage tower, leaving a smirking Kira behind. End of the mini flashback. Mizuki looked at the copy ninja flying right at him as he realized on what she meant when she said that he served his purpose. He was used. It was all a plan by that woman as she didn't love him. It was all the demon brat's fault. Tears enveloped Mizuki's eyes as he screamed to the sky, "Damn you, Naruto!" Chidori. Mizuki's flesh was pierced by Kakashi as he coughed blood and fell towards to ground when Kakashi pulled his hands out of him. Why him, my love, thought Mizuki as he fell off the ground dead. The Junins, Yugao and the Hokage came to Kakashi surrounding the bloodied body of Mizuki. How was he that strong? Said Yugao quietly. Sarutobi sighed responding, I don't know Yugao, but we must investigate his body. He then gestured the everyone to go and rest for the night as they then dispersed. At Naruto's apartment, in the operating room, Kasara can be seen as she was holding something. It was a pill. The same red pill Mizuki was giving. It would seem the tool is his uses, smirked the Kyuubi no Kitsune as she suddenly scowled as she wanted to puke. Ape thought I loved him. A door can be heard closing upstairs. Kasara suddenly blushed. Her husband was home. She quickly teleported to the living room and sat on the couch and randomly flicked through a shopping magazine. I'm home, said Naruto quietly as he entered the living room. Kasara looked up at her husband smiling as she welcomed him. Naruto then suddenly sat next to her as he sighed. Kasara, said Naruto quietly. Kasara looked at Naruto with eyebrow raised. Yes, Naruto-kun. Naruto suddenly soothingly touched her right knee as he caressed it. Kasara inwardly blushed as she looked at him. He was a human ape, no different than the rest of his species, and yet he made her feel like she can take on the world. Well, she can take on the world, you know what she means. Kasara, I'm new at this marriage thing. So please bear with me, okay? I never had this kind of thing before, said Naruto, who looked sad. Kasara put the magazine down as she stroked his hair soothingly, even though she doesn't know why she does this to him. You sure are something else, Naruto-kun. You have something women find addicting, and I don't know what, thought Kasara. Naruto-kun, you are doing fine. If you were bad, you would have been punished. My dear vessel, giggled Kasara at Naruto, who started to sweat. Naruto sighed as he then picked up the magazine Kasara was holding as he looked at it. It was on page where there was lots of different type of wedding rings. Naruto looked at her as he smiled a kind smile, making Kasara blush at his smile. I may not afford this, but I will do my best to make this marriage work. Kasara was confused when Naruto then gave her the magazine she had, and her eyes went wide. Naruto, are you really intending to buy a ring for me? The boy nodded. Well, yeah, we are married, and I know I am rushing it, but it's only right. Kasara was awestruck as she just looked at him. Here was man that was clearly upset on what happened to him but still wanted to move on with his life. He even wanted to make it official. Kasara was touched very deeply as no one ever said this to her. Naruto. Ding dong. The doorbell rang, interrupting their heartfelt discussion. Well, for Kasara anyway, but Naruto, being Naruto, who is very oblivious to what was going on, believed it was right thing to do, but he didn't know the effect it has caused. I get it, you just stay right here, said Naruto, who sighed, thinking who would be here at this hour, as he then left to get the door, leaving the Kyuubi no Kitsune to her thoughts. Naruto, I can't believe you said that. Kasara suddenly blushed as she realized what she got into. She took a stab in the dark and got the perfect guy. Naruto-kun. As Naruto gently opened, who could it possibly be? The sight that greeted him on the opposite end was another red-eyed female. It was the genjutsu specialist of Konoha. Kurenai-sensei, what are you doing here? Naruto was confused. He did request a meeting with her, but it was on a later date. Naruto-kun, I just want to say that I'm sorry that I made you angry. Kurenai, not knowing why she was saying that, as all she knew was that it was the right thing to say him. Naruto smiled at her, making her blush. Kurenai-sensei, it's alright. I was angry at the situation, not at you, as Naruto then touched her shoulder to show his appreciation. Kurenai blushed at how close they were. She only just met Naruto today, and yet here she was. She didn't know why she was here talking to him, a guy, and yet here she was. She just didn't want Naruto-kun to be mad at her. Wait, kun. Kurenai didn't know when she started adding suffix to his name, as she never said it to a guy before. She then felt another hand grab her shoulders, making her blush even more. Kurenai, are you alright? Your face is red, said Naruto obliviously. Kurenai regrettably went out of his embrace as she shook out of her thoughts. Naruto-kun, now that we are friends again, can we start your training tomorrow? Naruto smiled as he nodded. Sure, I can meet you before I meet Kiba. Kurenai nodded as she smiled, as this time she grabbed Naruto's hands. This brought Naruto's attention. Naruto, if you want to ever meet up or do something, don't hesitate to call me, okay? Me, Anko, and everyone else will be there for you. She didn't know why she added Anko and everyone else part, as something deep inside her regretted saying that. Naruto held her hand tight, making the Junin blush furiously. Thanks, Kurenai-sensei, that means a lot. Kurenai blushed as then let go of Naruto as she went back outside. Naruto walked outside with her as he said, take care, Kurenai, it's dangerous out. You sure you don't want any help? Kurenai blushed at his generosity as she smiled. No, Naruto-kun, it's alright, see you tomorrow. Naruto nodded as she then bid her farewell and shunshined home. While all of this was going on, there was someone watching from the window. This woman did not look pleased, no, she looked downright pissed as her eyes glowed in terror. Kun. It would seem that she likes Naruto-kun, said Kasara as she then thought of Naruto suddenly leaving her for Kurenai, making her chuckle evilly. Kukukuku, my dear Naru-kun, we are betrothed till death till us part, said Kasara as she then spoke demonically. I will destroy anyone who tries to put an end to our union. At the Hokage's office, Sarutobi can be seen talking to someone. It was a person who was wearing a black bandana. It was Morino Ibiki, the head interrogator. Ibiki-kun, tell me your verdict, said Sarutobi to his specialist regarding about Naruto. Ibiki was watching the entire conversation as he was hidden from Naruto. Hokage-sama. He was telling the truth. Sarutobi sighed as he felt relieved, but Ibiki carried on. But I don't believe him. Sarutobi narrowed his eyes at Ibiki and asked for his reason. It's just, sir, that the way he lived his life. I would expect he would know how to lie, sir. Sarutobi nodded, accepting the man's answer as it made sense. Naruto's life was an enigma thanks to those blasted council. A problem he promised he will end soon and also find out more about him. You're dismissed, Ibiki. Ibiki nodded and then shunshined, leaving the old Hokage alone as he looked at his window, having the whole village its view. He was left to his thoughts. Minato, Kushina, I will do all I can for your son. This time I won't fail. Firstly, a friend of mine asked me what's with my username. He said, do you hate Heroes the show or heroes in general? I just told him I hate both. Seriously, it's true. Sorry, ranting nonsense stuff. So here is the chapter. Italics means the person is thinking. Bold italics is the music lyrics. Bold is a demon or god talking. Enjoy. A tiring day brings a new tomorrow. I've become so numb I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. The song rang throughout Naruto's headphones while he ran laps as the morning sun was rising. Naruto ran towards his apartment complex to change back from his usual attire, as he was now wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt with gray trousers, wearing black trainers. From his apartment, a crimson-haired figure can be seen looking at Naruto. Naruto, muttered Kasara softly, leaning on the window. What has been said and done last night was on her mind for some reason. She even refused to talk to Naruto while they slept, as she gave him the cold shoulder, much to his confusion. Footsteps can be heard as Kasara quickly went back to bed and turned around. Naruto came in the room as he looked at Kasara, who he thought was asleep. So he quietly took his clothes and left. When the door was shut, Kasara can be seen with a grim expression. Voices rang through inside her head. Naruto, if you want to ever meet up or do something, don't hesitate to call me, okay? I will be there for you. Thanks, Kurenai-sensei, that means a lot. Kurenai, muttered Kasara as she then smiled. All is fair in love and war, as then suddenly her chest started to glow red. Her bonding mark with Naruto glowed furiously, like it agreed with her. She wasn't going to lose Naruto without a fight. A fight she intended to win. It was another D-ranked meeting, but this time Kakashi made the team work through multiple mission, as he quoted, "We team need to have some teamwork," while he read his orange book, giggling away as Team 7 were now tending some dogs. You mean the three of us," muttered Naruto, feeding puppies. You say something, Naruto?" Kakashi looked up from his book, making Naruto's eyes wide. Nothing. What a nice mission, hey, chuckled Naruto dryly. Shut up, Naruto baka, you're annoying, said Sakura, irritated as she was washing a huge dog. HRN, grunted Sasuke as he was combing a poodle. Naruto sighed as he looked at Sakura in disappointment. He didn't know why she hated him. He had a crush on her once and she told him he was annoying. He just couldn't understand girls. All they did was hit him. They are so troublesome. Well done, team. We did a total of 6 D-ranked missions, said Kakashi, looking proud. Hooray! Said Naruto sarcastically as he raised his hands up, making Kakashi twitch comically. Baka, stop being a fool, said Sakura as she hit Naruto, making him fall in the ground. Kakashi sighed at the usual occurrence between the two. He looked at Sasuke as he was looking at Naruto suspiciously. Kakashi sighed again. Ever since the team was formed, Sasuke had a self-proclaimed rivalry with Naruto, trying to fight him every chance he got. With Sakura cheering him on increased the Uchiha's ego even more. He needed to talk with Sasuke as he couldn't teach him if he was like this. Obito, your last memory is a bit uck. Kakashi sighed again, wishing why he took this group. Sasuke's pink-haired teammate, well, she is a fangirl enough, said. Finally, the final member of Team 7, Uzumaki Naruto. Just by saying his name will give him a headache. The boy that his sensei made a jinchurikis of was a bit of a handful. Scratch that, he was more than a handful. He was what, 16 years old, a boy who is considered to be a failure, and from what he just found out was being held back. It didn't come to surprise to Kakashi because the whole village hated him. Heck, no one would have cared if he died. He too was like the villagers, as he didn't even care as well, but now he knows better. Sensei, I would take care of your legacy. You're dismissed. Meet me here tomorrow at 8 inches, as Kakashi then poofed. He needed a drink. HRN. Grunted Sasuke as he looked at Naruto seizing him up as he then walked away. Sasuke-kun, wait. Sakura as usual ran after him. Can he speak at least a line, for crying out loud, muttered Naruto as he sighed at Sasuke. Well, time to meet up with Kurenai-sensei. Naruto got up and ran to the Team 8 training ground. Konoha Market. Sakura sighed as she was rejected by Sasuke again as she thought on what happened. She remembered when she had caught up to Sasuke. Please wait, Sasuke-kun. She begged as she nearly fell to her knees in front of the brooder. Sasuke just stood on as he looked in concentration. He was thinking about Naruto and the strength he has shown. First there was the incident with Kakashi, the way the Dobi acted, it was like he was holding back. Sasuke's eyes narrowed, and secondly there was the team training exercise. The Dobi managed to fight against a Junin on even ground. What are you hiding, Naruto? He needed to meet with Naruto. Sakura, muttered Sasuke, making the girl look at him straightway. What do you think of Naruto? Sakura's eyes went wide as she was in a dilemma. Why did he, Sasuke-kun, ask about Naruto Baka, and why did he care what she thought about him? Her eyes went wide. He thought she liked Naruto Baka. Think about it. The Baka had a crush on her for years and she bets $1,000,000 he still likes her now, and Sasuke-kun was jealous because she was spending her time on him instead of Sasuke-kun. She decided to tell him what she thought. I like you, Sasuke-kun. Well, that Baka is a lowlife that always fights you and is always messing things up and causing trouble. Sakura smiled, misinterpreting his words. He has no regard for anything but himself. She paused as she shrugged callously. You know why he's always causing trouble? It's because he wasn't raised right. He does things that pops into his head because he doesn't know what it's like to be punished on a personal level. It's all because he doesn't have parents. She said smugly. Sasuke's eye widened slightly. You think that he is? He started to say, as the Uchiha eyes narrowed at the pink-haired girl. The girl nodded with her eyes closed, not knowing the implications of her words. The wind was blowing, making the atmosphere tenser. The pink-haired girl carried on. Think about it. He doesn't have anyone to answer to. Never has, which is why he's become so selfish. If I tried to do half the things he does, my parents would ground me for life. Without parents, it's the only possible outcome that one becomes a complete delinquent. She finished with confidence. Quote. Alone. Sasuke muttered, recalling what he has been through. What? Sakura blinked, and cringed slightly when Sasuke seemed to stare right through her, or past her. Being scolded by parents is nothing. You can't possibly compare it. Even Naruto knows what can't be escaped in this world. Emptiness. Isolation. He was speaking quietly, almost to himself. What are you saying, Sasuke-kun? Sakura blinked with slight fear at the sudden change in Sasuke's attitude. He blinked as he seemed to refocus on Sakura. You think little of Naruto as you consider him to be worthless. And yet he did better than you in every aspect, as it was you on the stump in the bell test rather, Naruto. That would make you worthless. You annoy me, Sasuke muttered icily as he walked off. Sakura stood motionless in the hallway, stunned, shocked, wide-eyed and trembling. No. It can't be. Sasuke-kun thinks that I'm. She slowly sank to her knees as the terrible feeling crushed down on her. It hurts. She clutched her hands to her chest. Ino's insults never hurt like this. Why is it so different, hearing it from? Sakura looked down at her hands. Is it because I like Sasuke-kun? She now knew what Naruto felt like. Is this how Naruto feels, whenever I? She shook her head in denial. No. This is Naruto's fault. He did this by being better than Sasuke-kun in the academy trying to impress me. Sakura got to her feet and looked determined. Well, I'll show him. I won't let him mess up for me anymore. She kept walking to somewhere. Destination to find Naruto. When Naruto came to the training ground, he saw Kurenai alone waiting for him. He smirked as he decided to sneak up on her. Kurenai stood there waiting for Naruto as her team finished 15 minutes ago. Is he going to come? These were the thoughts that ran in Kurenai's mind as she was becoming more frantic, believing what she thought was true. Suddenly, two arms grabbed her shoulders. Hey Kurenai-sensei! Screamed a voice, scaring her as she screamed in shock, quickly turning around as she then fell on Naruto. Whoa! Ah! Both of them fell on the ground with Kurenai on top of him, which made her blush. Naruto looked red as he was feeling Kurenai's body, and it was surprisingly nice. Naruto shook his head to get rid of such thoughts as he then looked up at Kurenai. Kurenai also looked up at Naruto. Their eyes met as their faces were so close to each other. They blushed as they quickly let go of each other. Sorry, I shouldn't have scared you like that. Kurenai quickly put her hands up, interrupting Naruto. No number, it's alright, let's just start with your training. Naruto smiled at her kindly as he then stood, giving her a hand, by which she gladly obliged. Yosh, let's begin, smiled Naruto, who became determined as Kurenai nodded. Kurenai then got out a series of scrolls and threw at the floor. Naruto looked at it and then at her with his eyebrow raised. These are your homework, Naruto-kun, giggled Kurenai at Naruto, who started to sweat at the word homework. Now today's lesson is chakra control. First I need you to walk on trees. Kurenai expected Naruto to be shocked, but he just laughed. I already know that method. Kurenai's eyes went wide. You know it? Where did you learn it? Naruto then looked at the sky, remembering the day he learned it. Well, it all happened 2 years ago when I met a group, a very strange group I might add. Flashback 2 years ago. Naruto was walking with his hands on his pockets as he looked pissed because he got kicked out of the academy for the day for beating up a snot-nosed kid. My dad's on the civilian council, you can't touch me, muttered Naruto mockingly as he then smirked. He showed him, hey, try getting your dad to get you out of that. Naruto, once he was done with the kid, his head was buried on the ground, not knowing it took an earth technique to get him out in 3 chunins. When he was walking past a training ground, a shortcut he found to get home, he saw 2 spandex guys. One was a mini version of the tall guy and 2 girls. Yosh, my youthful students, today you will learn how to climb trees, without our hands, said the tall Bruce Lee looking guy, the group who looked bemused. Hi Guy Sensei, said the mini-me cheerfully. But Guy Sensei, how do we do that? Said a bun-haired. HRN, fate will tell us, said another girl who surprisingly sounded like a man. My youthful students, it is like this. Guy showed them how it was done, surprising the team and Naruto as he then told them the method. Yosh, Guy Sensei, I won't let you down, screamed the mini, eyes burning. I know, my youthful students, show them your youthfulness. Then right before Naruto's eyes he saw something that messed the poor guy's mind. It was worse than the dream lady he was facing. A sunset beach came all of a sudden, and then both clones ran at each other, arms wide with tears in their eyes. Lee. Guy Sensei. Lee. Guy Sensei. As they then hugged when a romantic music could be heard coming from nowhere. Naruto froze as he then ran for his life. Kasara, who was inside him, shivered, destroying the vile memory. End of flashback. Naruto shivered as the Kurenai hugged him tightly as she soothed his back caringly. There, it's over now, said Kurenai, feeling sorry for Naruto. They got over the dilemma as Kurenai asked her what else he learned, by which he replied that he kept going it with the tree exercise. He also told her that he tried to do what he did on the tree on water, surprising Kurenai. He thought of the water walking exercise by himself. That's impressive. Kurenai had to wonder how held back he was in the academy. Okay Naruto, do you know the leaf balancing exercise? Naruto shook his head as then Kurenai proceeded to tell him that his chakra is so big that he had to constantly train his control. This exercise is one of the prime exercises of mastering genjutsu. She looked at Naruto, who looked very serious at her, which actually made her feel good as she felt she was making a difference. Well, this exercise is actually to hone the individual's concentration and to keep their mind from becoming distracted. Naruto nodded as Kurenai gave him a leaf. Now let's get started. 1 hour went past as Naruto looked to be in deep concentration as he kept getting distracted. Kurenai looked on as she thought, to think he is getting the hang of it this quickly, even though his chakra is very massive. She looked at Naruto as he managed to beat his record time, who then celebrated. Kurenai smiled. He is a prodigy and this village doesn't even know it. Naruto looked at Kurenai as he suddenly ran to her. Kurenai looked confused as to why he stopped. Kurenai-sensei. Can we meet next time? I'm late to meet Kiba. Kurenai eyes went wide. She totally forgot about his meeting with Kiba. Alright Naruto-kun, see me tomorrow and we will carry on where we left off. Naruto nodded, but before he left he suddenly hugged her, shocking the red-eyed Kunoichi greatly. Kurenai blushed at Naruto's tight embrace as he then let go of her, much to her dismay. He turned around as he was about to go, but before saying something, thanks sensei for spending your time with me, next time I treat you to ramen. Naruto turned around and gave her the fullest smile he could muster. Kurenai looked ready to melt there and then. As then Naruto ran off to meet Kiba, leaving the red-eyed woman alone. Kurenai grabbed hold of herself, trying to regain her bearings as she blushed. Naruto-kun. At the Hokage Tower, a council meeting was currently present to discuss about the incident that occurred yesterday. Well, they were just screaming at each other, the civilian council being the most vocal. The clan heads was just quiet as they were just processing to what was reported to them. Sarutobi gritted his teeth. Damn you, Mizuki. Hokage-sama, why are you letting the brat get away with this? Said a fat merchant whose name is Hiko, as he owns a lot of business in Konoha. Damn bastard was responsible for Naruto not having food to eat, thought Sarutobi. And do tell to what Naruto has done, sighed Shikaku, who clearly didn't want to be here. Mizuki was angry at the brat. It's his entire fault, screamed a banshee voice of Haruno Sakuya, mother of Haruno Sakura. Everyone winced at the voice except Danzo and the two advisors, who remained stoic. Haruno-san, may I remind you that Naruto didn't do any crimes, thus I cannot be punished, sighed Sarutobi at the civilians' ignorance. The civilians roared in anger at the situation they were in because the brat couldn't be touched. As they say, no crime no time. Shut up, screamed Sum. The pup did nothing wrong, so shut up, you're like a pack of wild dogs. I agree with Hokage-sama, Naruto won't be punished if he didn't do nothing wrong, said Inochi. I agree, it's all Mizuki's fault. Anyway, if that is all, why is the council gathered? Said Choza, as this was agreed with Shikaku and Sarutobi at how pointless this meeting is. Hokage-sama, Mizuki done such damage, did you find out how he did such thing? Said Hiyashi calmly. No, Anko and Ibiki are investigating his body as we speak. Kaharu looked on. Did Inochi check his mind? Inochi shook his head. I already did, it is wiped clean, like someone knew I was coming. Do you know who? Said Homura, looking at Inochi, who shook his head indicating that he doesn't know. Talking about Mizuki, any reasons why he was after Naruto? Said Danzo calmly. Sarutobi looked at his rival as he knew the man was up to something. The civilians' council screamed, saying he is a punk who deserves what he gets. Uzumaki Naruto. Anyone know what he done before he came to academy? Said Kaharu as she wanted to know what the brat was doing. It was like he disappeared into thin air. Yes, it is most prudent to know what our Jinchurikis was doing, said Homura. Funny really is you care now. What happens in the future will be on your heads. Sarutobi looked sad as he knew he disappointed Naruto's parents and Naruto himself. It felt much worse than his disappointment of his runaway student. I do not know, but he's here now, that's all that matters. Danzo looked at his rival at how he dismissed the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Unlike his rival, Danzo searched for the boy as he couldn't miss the opportunity to take his weapon. However, the thing was that the boy knew how to hide, so he gathered information. Throughout the years of research, he found out that there was a high influx of yakuzas coming into Konoha selling wide ranges of drugs. Although most of them were arrested and put into prison, but yet the drugs continued, it frustrated Konoha as they didn't want to be like Iwa. The civilians were screaming as Danzo decided to shut them up. Why do you worry about the boy? You should worry about your incompetence, as it was your fault for leaving him to his devices. Who knows what he has done? The civilians roared, screaming in anger. All we have to do is get Ibiki on him and see what happens, said Sakuya, who grinned, seeing liking the brat getting interrogated. Sarutobi sighed. I already done that, and yet no information was provided that threatened Konoha. It was Kohuru and Homura who pestered their teammate about why didn't they know about this. Sarutobi sighed. It was going to be a long day. Where is the baka? Screamed Sakura as she went to the ramen stand to look for the blonde idiot, and he wasn't there. All she got was a glare from the owner and his daughter. TCH, the baka is not eating ramen, so where is he? Thought Sakura. Sakura, said a voice as Sakura turned around. Ino. At the Yamanaka flower shop. So you can't find Naruto? Sighed Ino as Sakura nodded. Yeah, he ruined me and Sasuke-kun. Ino sighed. What he do this time? Sakura decided to tell her what happened. Ino was twitching at the ridiculous story she ever heard. Frankly, Naruto never done nothing to her and she was screaming like he committed mass murder. Well, Sakura, if Sasuke-kun doesn't like you, then he just wants someone better, said Ino as she smirked at her rival, who started to fume. What, Ino pig? Sasuke-kun will never want you. Ino sighed, not wanting to yell today. Think about it, Sakura, every time you hit him he doesn't hit you back, and he is the tornado. Maybe he still likes you. That's all I'm saying. Well, he knows I will never like him, so he should just go away. Besides, my parents hate him, said Sakura, making Ino nod, as it was no surprise that Haruno Sakuya hated Naruto. Sakura got up. Well, Ino, I'm going to go home. I will find the baka tomorrow and sort him out then. Then the pink-haired girl left. Ino sighed as she shook her head. How delusional can you get, Sakura? At Naruto's apartment. As the sun was setting, a lavender-haired girl can be seen at Naruto's front door. She looked to be shaken in fear as she tried to knock but failed to even touch the front door. Come on, Hinata. You can do this. The lavender-haired girl was Hinata's. This was her second time coming to Naruto's apartment, each time running away. She took a breath of courage as she knocked on Naruto's door. She flinched as she closed her eyes. Nothing happened. So she opened her eyes and knocked again, happy that she overcame her fears. What are you doing? Said a voice. Hinata looked at the person who was carrying groceries and suddenly shrieked as she then ran off. Kasara smirked. Funny little girl, as she then went inside Naruto's apartment. Unknowingly, Hinata was still there as she looked to be broken. What's a woman doing in Naruto-kun's house? Hinata looked to be in tears as she ran off. At the window, Kasara can be seen smirking as she shook her head. Ding dong. Naruto rang the gate of the huge compound as he was surprised. Kiba picked up the doorbell as he asked who it was. It's Naruto. Sorry I'm late. Kiba sounded happy as he gestured Naruto to come in. Naruto went inside the gate as he came inside the compound. He came to the front door as he knocked again. Kiba answered the door. Hey man, come in. Naruto came in as he then took off his shoes because Kiba asked him to. Naruto raised his eyebrows. Weren't we going to train today, Kiba? Kiba laughed. Nah, we should do that another time, and besides, you look tired. He was right because Kurenai's training and Kakashi's mission took a lot out of him. Then I should go. Naruto was about to go, but Kiba insisted he should stay and chill. Hey man, you stink, have a shower. No one is here today. My sis is at her vet, Mum's out and Akamaru is out playing. Naruto nodded as he planned to have a shower anyway and asked if he was allowed. Man, can't believe you act like this, Tornado. You're different to what people described you as, laughed Kiba as Naruto twitched comically. Kiba then went inside a room and asked Naruto that he likes music, by which Naruto responded that any was fine, so the dog boy turned on the music as he sang along. He's a stranger to some and a vision to none. He can never get enough of the one. For a fortune, he'd quit, but it's hard to admit. How it ends and begins on his face is a map of the world. A map of the world. On his face is a map of the world. A map of the world. Hey Kiba, never knew you liked 30 seconds to Mars. Said Naruto, who smirked. What, you like it too? Naruto nodded at the Inuzuka as he pumped his fist in the air. We should totally swap music. Naruto smiled and nodded in agreement, wanting to see what kind of songs Kiba liked. Kiba then went in his room and then threw a towel at him. Go have a shower. This bit is my favorite part. As then Kiba turned the music up, then he sang. From yesterday, it's coming. From yesterday, the fear. From yesterday, it calls him. But he doesn't wanna read the message here. Naruto just shook his head and ignored the boy as he went upstairs. He came up to the bathroom door as he then went inside, not knowing that there was a towel and someone was already showering thanks to the loud music. Naruto got undressed as he threw his clothes on an empty box while he held his towel, not noticing someone already got out of the shower. The person was Inuzuka Hana as she was drying her hair. She was from head to toe when she heard the loud music beating downstairs. She gritted her teeth. Damn Kiba and his music. Naruto tensed as he froze at her voice. So when Hana turned around, she saw a man. A very developed man, she might add. But a man nonetheless who had his back turned. One thing is, he was. So she did what any girl would do when she saw a pervert. She screamed. Arg! At her shock, she lost her footing as she slipped. Her head was aiming towards the side of the bath as it could cause a fatal concussion, but someone grabbed her. It was the blonde man. She quickly was pulled onto his embrace as they both felt their skin. Hana blushed furiously as she never felt a man's skin before, her feeling his chest. He is so strong. Hana blushed at the cliché line. Naruto, however, was scared as hell. Damn, I'm dead. Dead. Naruto prayed that his tool won't grow. Come on Frankie, don't wake up now. Naruto gulped, trying to plead his case. It's not what you think, I can explain. He seriously felt like one of those guys in soap operas when they are exposed. It's that. Well, Hana interrupted him. I understand. Her hot breath tickled Naruto's skin as he blushed. You do? Said Naruto hopefully. I don't, frankly. Naruto's sweat dropped as he gulped. But you saved my life, so I will let you explain. Naruto unconsciously held her tight, making Hana red all over. Thanks. Well, this is what happened. So Naruto told Hana everything while she listened intently. Well, not intently, as she was feeling very comfortable. I believe you. Naruto felt relieved at her understanding. Suddenly the door was knocked on, making both of them tense. Hey man, you finished in there? Naruto looked at Hana as she nodded at him. Yeah, thanks for letting me use your shower. It's alright man. Come downstairs, yeah. Okay. Then Kiba left as his footsteps faded. Both Hana and Naruto sighed in relief as they looked at each other, then laughed, destroying their tension. Hana then smiled a kind smile, by which Naruto noticed as he smiled back. Then all of a sudden his world turned black. He was knocked out by Hana. She smiled at the knocked out figure of Naruto, the towel covering his acid. In the end, I'm a woman. You don't cup a feel and get a free show without a date first. Then took her clothes and walked out. Kiba eating while he sat watching TV. He looked at Naruto, who had a black eye. What happened to you? I fell. Hey, chuckled Naruto, scratching the back of his hair. Kiba just swear dropped but ignored him as he watched the TV. You got a lot of channels, said Naruto, making Kiba surprised. You don't have that much channels. Naruto shook his head. Nah, all I have is the news and sports. If I wanted to watch movies, I rent. Smart move, said a voice familiar to Naruto, who started to sweat. Kiba looked at his sister, who was leaning on the wall behind them. Thought you won't be back till later. Naruto froze as he felt Hana look at him, decided to come early. Naruto, do you want to eat? Asked Hana. No, screamed Naruto, shocking Kiba and making Hana smirk. I mean no, Kiba's sister. Hana giggled, making Naruto flinch. Naruto-kun, call me Hana. Naruto gulped. Kiba was confused. Hana grinned. Then the door can be heard closing as the final member of the family came in. Mum, you're home, said Hana to her mother who came to the living room. Sum came home tired as she brought some groceries and put it in the table. Hey Hana, take these to the kitchen. Hana nodded before giving one final look at Naruto. Sum following her direction saw Kiba and Naruto. Wait Uzumaki Naruto. Hey brat not saying hi to your mum, smirked Sum at the muttering Kiba. Hey your mum is calling you, nudged Naruto making Kiba sulk even more before he was in a chokehold by his mum. You still angry Kiba my pup, smirked Sum as Kiba's muffling voice can be heard. Let him go mum you're embarrassing him at front of his friend, said Hana as Sum let go of Kiba who gasped for air. Sum lazily sat down next to Naruto, so you're the man my son is scared of. Naruto looked at her as his eyes narrowed. I apologized to what I did didn't I? Sum nodded. Yeah I know you look like the type that doesn't apologize again. Mum it's cool Naruto's cool, said Kiba at his mum who is having a staring contest with the blonde-haired delinquent. It's alright Kiba, she is just being a mother. Naruto looked at Sum intently as she then smirked suddenly laughing. I like you, you have spunk, who then started to pat Naruto's back hard. Naruto-kun why don't you stay for dinner? Said Hana when she said this Sum had a twinkle in her eye, kun, making Hana shiver. Yeah Naruto I could show you my room. Naruto looked at Kiba when then Sum touched his shoulder. Naruto you don't want to decline Hana-chan's offer don't you? This made Hana blush at what her mum was trying to do. Naruto sighed as he looked at the time which was 9 o'clock, I'm sorry. I can't maybe another time. Everyone looked disappointed as Kiba whined. Well I can't persuade you to stay but you're welcome to come here anytime Naruto, sighed Sum. Naruto nodded as he then got up, well thanks. He then walked to Kiba and nudged his shoulder as Kiba nodded at him. Naruto then walked to the door clearly ignoring Hana's presence making her smirk. When he got to the door he put on his shoes when heard Sum, Naruto you want someone to come with you. Naruto looked up at her as he finished putting on his sandals, it's alright but thanks for the offer, he then said his goodbyes to the family that was gathered in the hallway then left. Leaving the family alone Kiba suddenly yawned, going to bed got training tomorrow good night mum, Hana, leaving the two females alone as he went upstairs. Hana looked at where Naruto was a second ago lost in space. Sum put her hand on her daughter's shoulder making her flinch Sum put her face close to her daughter's ear, Naruto-kun huh. Hana blushed remembering Naruto's visage froze and then suddenly got out of her mother's grasp and walked very quickly to Sum to her room. Sum smirked as she giggled, it would seem the boy got to my daughter. Maybe by getting these two together might be good for them right Kushina, thought Sum as she suddenly frowned. What kind of friend was she leaving the only son of her best friend alone like that and not care? Sum clenched her fist as she gritted her teeth, and we Inuzukas are considered to be loyal to those we care about. No more will she ever turn her back again. Ever. At the Hyuga compound, Hanabi looked at the closed door in front of her as she raised her eyebrow. Hanabi-sama Hinata was in there for a while now do you know what has happened, said a Hyuga branch servant. Hanabi huffed. Like I care about her, as then the little girl left. Inside Hinata's room, Hinata can be seen on her bed crying as she was holding a golden fox stuffed doll. What are you doing? Said a voice of a crimson-haired beautiful woman. Hinata stopped crying as the woman's voice was ringing in her head, what's she doing in Naruto-kun's house with food? Hinata knew what was going on but refused to admit it. I need to speak with Naruto-kun about it. Hinata sighed as she suddenly felt relieved. And besides she is too old for him I don't think Naruto-kun likes older women. Hinata smiled as her doubt for Naruto-kun's love never wavered. Her eyes narrowed suddenly as she needed to go see Naruto-kun and if she can see that crimson-haired woman. At Naruto's apartment, Kakashi knocked on Naruto's door as he has been doing that for a while. He decided that his student wasn't in, what is he doing out in this kind of hour? Frowning at how his sensei's legacy became, Sensei you would be disappointed, muttered Kakashi. He was about to leave via Shunshin before he heard someone walk up the stairs. He turned around thinking it was Naruto and suddenly his eyes went wide when he met Crimson Eyes. The boy is not an I see, sighed the woman. Kakashi nodded. Do you know Naruto? The woman nodded. Yes, we are lovers. Kakashi blushed red, making the woman giggle. Just kidding, hey, you should see your face. Kakashi sighed as he chuckled with her. Yeah, that was funny. I don't see someone like you being with someone like Naruto. The woman inwardly scowled as she froze. Kakashi looked at her. Something I said. They don't acknowledge him to be in a relationship, thought Kyuubi as suddenly she felt like cutting the man into pieces. She smirked. Yeah, you're right. But I'm his neighbor. How do you know Naruto? As by talking about Naruto like that made her mouth dry. I'm his sensei. Kasara raised her eyebrows. You're his sensei, making Kakashi sigh. Well, he is not, and so I see him tomorrow. Wait. Kakashi looked at Kasara. Naruto will come later, but in the meantime tell me more about him. Kakashi's eyes narrowed. It's just that he never once told me about you and I knew him for a while. Kakashi's eyes went wide. His student never told her about him. He intended to correct that. Well, instead of talking here, why don't I take you out for a drink? While he was at it, Kakashi thought he might as well take a shot at her. Kasara inwardly smirked as she nodded, smiling gently. If I play this right, me and Naruto-kun will see a lot of each other. Kakashi blushed under his mask, thanking his mask for not showing his feelings to the crimson-haired woman. Her hair is crimson just like her eyes. I never seen someone like that, as Kurenai's eyes were red, not crimson like that woman. Sure, why not? Hitaki Kakashi. Kakashi interjected as Kasara introduced herself, Yagashi Kira. Thus they both went together. At the dango shop, the Junins were all sitting at the table as they were waiting for the final member to arrive. Not surprising, he is always late, sighed Asuma as he desperately wanted to smoke, but this damn shop didn't let him. He looked at Kurenai and inwardly blushed. He had a crush on her, but lately she was hard to talk to than ever before. Did she meet a guy? Asuma's eyes went wide but shook his head. No, that can't be right. If she liked a guy, the first would have known. Kurenai just looked to be in thought as she just looked at Anko, who was eating her dango just as fast as Naruto finishes his ramen. She blushed. Next time I treat you to ramen. She shook her head, trying to get Naruto out of her mind. Why is she thinking about him like that? He never done anything to earn it. Well, he always smiles at me, showing me that he cares, and he does show me that he cares. Kurenai was lost in thought again as she decided next time she sees him she will end this feeling once and for all. Besides, Hinata likes him even though she never spoke to him, sighed Kurenai as she needed closure and fast. Kurenai-chan. Kurenai was pushed out of her thoughts. Yes, Anko. Anko sighed. What's with her lately? She was so easily distracted she decided to investigate. Nothing, Kurenai. Kurenai raised her eyebrow at her friend. Sorry guys, was lost on the road of life, said Kakashi as Guy suddenly screamed, Yush, my rival, nice to see your youthfulness. Kakashi sighed as when he walked in a woman suddenly came walking beside him. Asuma and Guy became silent as Asuma's cigarette fell out of his mouth. Kakashi was with a woman, albeit a very beautiful woman. Asuma blushed while Guy screamed, Yush Kakashi, your youth brights like 1,000 suns. Who is he? Said Kasara to Kakashi, who sighed. A friend, a weird friend. Kasara nodded as she wanted to shut this monkey up. Kurenai and Anko looked to see what's up as they too suddenly was in shock. Kakashi was with a woman. She is beautiful, thought Kurenai as she and Anko went to the male's table. Kasara looked at the two women as her eyes narrowed at the crimson-eyed woman, Kurenai. Thought Kasara bitterly. Akira-san, you know the guys, these are Yuhi Kurenai and Mitarashi Anko. Said Kakashi, who then started introducing Kira. So you're Naruto's neighbor? Said Anko. That's right, I'm very well acquainted to him, so I just want to meet you all, it's only right. Said Kasara, sultry at the word acquainted to no one's notice except Kurenai, who looked on in suspicion while Anko nodded. Now why don't we order first? Said Asuma, wanting to order as he gestured for the waiter to come. At Naruto's apartment, Naruto was tired as he was yawning. He desperately wanted to go to sleep today. As he opened his fridge to drink some milk, since Kasara wasn't here, he tried to be vulgar today as he drank from the carton. Ding dong. The doorbell rang. Must be Kasara, muttered Naruto as he yawned again. He went and opened the door as he suddenly smelled his favorite aroma. Ramen. Ayame-chan greeted Naruto to a smiling Ayame who had ramen with her. Hey Naru-kun, sorry for coming at this hour. Naruto dismissed her. Nonsense, besides you're always welcome regardless the time, smiled Naruto at Ayame who blushed. Naruto was always a gentleman to her. Ayame took off her shoes as Naruto closed the door behind her. The ramen can be seen on the table as in the living room. Naruto and Ayame sat closely together as Ayame shuffled into him, making the boy blush. It's Ayame-chan, get a grip Naruto, as since he met Kasara his luck in women soared through the roof. Both close friends were watching the film Gladiator. In the TV, it was in the Colosseum where the gladiator, the Spaniard, and his fellow gladiators survived another threat, this time in front of the emperor. The Emperor Commodus wanted to meet the Spaniard as he then went with his guards along with his nephew. The Spaniard looked ready to strike the emperor as they came face to face. Would you remove your helmet and tell me your name? Asked Commodus a second time, this time not taking his first answer. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, as the commander who everyone thought died was alive, father of a murdered son, husband of a murdered wife, and I will get my revenge at this life and the next. Commodus' eyes went wide as everyone gasped, so did Ayame. NTV. Naruto and Ayame finished the film as Ayame could be seen crying as she held Naruto. Heck, Naruto shed a tear as this movie would make a madman cry as well. Hey Ayame, let's go to the kitchen. Naruto looked at the time as it was 11 now. The teary girl nodded as she decided to give Naruto ramen. Naruto, it's been a while that we had time to ourselves, said Ayame who finished cleaning the dishes as Naruto insisted that he would do it, but she stubbornly refused. She sat on top of the kitchen table next to Naruto who sat on the stool. Yeah, we should change that. This made Ayame's eyes gleefully wide. You think so, Naruto-kun? Naruto nodded as he smiled. You were there for me and all I do is only see you when I'm eating ramen. This made Ayame suddenly hug Naruto as he felt his head against her slim belly as making him blush. Then Naruto felt tears fall on his hair. Ayame was crying, nah. Naruto, you're always like this and yet they call you different, it's so unfair. Naruto suddenly soothingly touched her sides as he attempted to comfort her, although he could feel her developed top his heads making him blush slightly. He didn't know why he was in situations like this. While Naruto was doing comforting her, Ayame was blushing as the person she could very well say that she loves was here this close with her. Ayame then reluctantly let go of Naruto. Naruto-kun, how's the team treating you? Naruto looked at her and then decided to tell her everything that happened with Team 7 and the Hokage meeting. She deserves to know as well, she was Ayame. She and him were friends way back and it was only right to let her in on what happened so far in his life. Well, minus the part he was married. So Ayame, well, she was mad. Hell, she was fuming. How dare does the Hokage do this? If it was the Uchiha, the Hokage will let it slide, but since it was Naruto, he jumps and treats him like a criminal. Where was he when Naruto-kun needed him? Ayame could tell you he wasn't there for shit. Ayame suddenly cried again, making Naruto apologize. Don't apologize, Naru-kun. It should be them that should be apologizing. Naruto looked on as he didn't know what to say. What are you going to do, Naruto-kun? What if it happens again? Naruto sighed. I don't know, but I won't be discreet or anything. If people are going to be serious against me, then I won't hold back. Ayame smiled as she nodded. Naruto-kun, if you need anything to hesitate to come, okay? Naruto nodded, smiling as it was time for Ayame to go. She wanted to stay, but her dad needed help to close shop. Naruto-kun, from now on I will be your delivery woman. This made Naruto's eyes wide as he just stood there when the woman hugged him and left. This was a problem as Ayame was going to see Kasara if she really came to do deliveries. Naruto mentally prayed they would never meet. However, what Ayame said was true. If he kept showing his strength, although the techniques he showed were all he knew, the Hokage would interrogate him again. Naruto gritted his teeth. He had some thinking to do. So Kira-san, I'll see you tomorrow. said a drunken Anko as Kurenai nodded at the Kyuubi no Kitsune in disguise and took the drunken Anko back to their apartment complex. See you later, Kira. It was fun seeing Anko lose at her own game, said Asuma, who tried his best to not blush and be a spluttering mess. Yush, Kira-san, your youth is spreaded to my heart, screamed Guy, who was screaming that he will run laps and whatnot, making both Kakashi and Kasara sigh as he too said his goodbyes. Kakashi, he turned around to Kira. Ma, Kira, so you will come to Team 7 meeting and after that we take Naruto to some ramen. Kasara nodded. Well Kira, I had a good time, see you tomorrow. Kakashi shunshined, leaving Kasara alone. Well, now there is no need for me to be a stay-at-home wife anymore, Naru-kun, giggled Kasara as at the apartment Naruto shivered in his bed. Kasara came home seeing the lamp dimly on as Naruto looked to be in his bed in deep thought. He had his back turned from her. How was your day, Kasara? Said Naruto as Kasara smiled at the familiarity, as she was the one who always said that. Oh, it was fun, Naru-kun, purred Kasara as she got into her nighties and tucked into her and her husband's bed. Kasara, I was thinking, what's with the basement? It's not there anymore. Kasara eyes narrowed at Naruto's back. Don't worry, Naruto. I will take care of it. Naruto, not knowing that Kasara changed the way she spoke his name meant something, said, so what happened to Mizuki? Kasara became silent. Kasara-chan. Naruto turned around when Kasara muttered, you don't trust me. Naruto, not hearing her, asked what she said. Kasara snapped, you don't trust me, you always question me. Aren't I your wife? Shouldn't that make you trust me? Naruto eyes went wide as he stood there frozen. Kasara carried on, why Naruto don't you trust me? Kasara was really hurt at this as suddenly Naruto hugged her, making Kasara move around the hug as she asked Naruto to get off her. Naruto held her tighter. Kisa-chan, said woman's eyes went wide, I'm just worried, it's this village. They always monitor me, so Naruto told her what happened at the Genin test from the Hokage Tower. This shocked Kasara as she knew something bad was going to happen. That's why she used Mizuki as a ploy to save Naruto-kun from trouble. She didn't know he was getting interrogated. She was mortified, thus this made her angry. Kisa-chan, I made a mistake of letting my anger control me, thus led me to this situation. Frankly, the Mizuki incident helped me and all I'm asking is what happened to him. Kasara nodded. All I did was heal him and then he just went to get you. Naruto nodded at her, although he felt that something was missing but didn't question her. I trust you, Kasara. I always did. It's just that I won't be surprised if the council or the Hokage thinks I'm connected to Mizuki. Naruto then went to grab her cheeks, making her blush. You are my wife. All I'm saying is that we have to monitor the movement of our relationship, as who knows what will happen if people find out. Kasara nodded as she saw what Kakashi felt of their relationship. She looked at Naruto's eyes as it glowed brighter in the light. I don't see someone like you being with someone like Naruto. How dare they judge their relationship? Naruto, if you want to ever meet up or do something, don't hesitate to call me, okay? I will be there for you. How dare she try to take her man? I trust you, Kasara. You are my wife. Kasara's eyes went wide. All of a sudden she pounced on Naruto, shocking him greatly. Kisa, what wrong, MHP? Naruto was silenced as Kasara suddenly kissed him as they carried on, both letting their instinct go wild. The tongues started to intertwine as Kasara started to suck on his tongue, making Naruto's eyes go wide as he felt good and got hard. Kasara felt it as she smirked. I'm glad you like it, Naruto-kun, giggled Kasara at Naruto, who blushed as she then took of her nighties, showing her visage. Don't worry, you're not the only one who is feeling good. As she then took both Naruto's hands and let them touch her large, making Naruto blush harder. See, my hard for you, baby, I never happened before. So you had before, said Naruto as he ministered her. Kasara moaned as she then looked at him suddenly with red eyes glowing vigorously. No, I never touched, no man. Sorry, I thought. Kasara suddenly jumped to on his lap, wrapping her long legs around him. Her mounds on his face. It's okay, Naruto-kun, you are always forgiven. Naruto looked up at her as he smiled brightly. He then bit her, making her moan louder. Ah, Naru-kun. Naruto started licking her. Kisa, I trust you, okay? Kasara was in euphoria as she just moaned. Naruto then pushed her gently back down the bed with Kasara's legs still wrapped around him. Naruto was hard and Kasara was wet. Naru-kun, it's okay to go all the way, you know. We both want this, said Kasara as Naruto suddenly caressed her face, making her fluster as he smiled brightly at her. She didn't know what effect he had on her. It didn't matter, all that matters was not allowing no woman to have this feeling without facing her first. Kasara, I can't. This made her eyes wide. Didn't her husband want her? Her doubts was destroyed when Naruto said, "The day we do it will much better than this, I somehow have a feeling." Kasara responded by giving him a deep kiss, with Naruto this time giving it back as well, making the emotional attachment to all-time high. Naru-kun, I will wait. Besides, Kasara kissed him again. Together no one can beat us. Naruto smiled as he hugged her, by which she welcomed it entirely. In the middle of the night, Kasara can be seen as she had her head on Naruto's chest. Naruto slept very quickly as he was very tired. Even when you were tired, you had time for me, muttered Kasara as she seen guys just go to sleep not tending to the needs of their wives because they were tired. Kasara was touched deeply. Naruto was different. I promise you, Naruto-kun, things will change. As Kasara thought about the internal war between Naruto and Konoha, and she intended for Naruto to win. She would do all she can for him to win. Her eyes glowed in the dark. Konoha had just angered the Kyuubi no Kitsune, and its attack part 2 will come again. But this time it will be different. Oh, it will be different. Kasara's giggles can be heard in the night as Naruto lightly snored. You mess with the slave, you hurt the queen. Stop this, Naruto, leave Sasuke-kun alone. Screamed Sakura, far looking at her crush being pummeled by the one who has a crush on her. Oi, what happened to your trash talk, huh? Said Naruto, who kicked Sasuke as he skidded a couple of yards. Tch. Sasuke wiped his bleeding mouth as he tried to get up. Naruto then started to charge right at Sasuke. Sasuke tried to keep up and anticipate his movement, but still got on the receiving end of Naruto's punch. Urg. Sasuke flew as Naruto hit his face. He got up and tried to retaliate with his signature technique as he was at the right distance. With the necessary hand signs he executed his technique, fire release. Great, but he was disturbed by the sudden appearance of Naruto. Fast. Sasuke was dumbstruck as Naruto then uppercutted him as the Uchiha flew in the air. While Sasuke was in the air, Naruto appeared behind as he grabbed the Uchiha's back and started twisting him in a tornado-like fashion as he threw Sasuke towards the trees. Sasuke was about to hit the tree, but someone grabbed him. It was Kakashi as Naruto then felt someone grab his shoulder. It was another Kakashi. The Kakashi holding Sasuke was a clone and the one holding Naruto was the real one. This does not for some reason look like a spar, said Kakashi sternly at Naruto, looking at him ready to scold him. However, Naruto roughly took his hand back as he gave Kakashi a cold look. Who do you think you are? Kakashi's raised his eyebrow at his student. Naruto looked pissed. You think I don't know about your secret training? Kakashi's eyes went wide at what his student was implying. Naruto then chuckled. But don't worry, no matter how many times you train him, he will never beat me. Naruto then barged Kakashi roughly as he left the copy ninja, who didn't have time to react because he was frozen in shock. Sasuke-kun. Sakura's scream of worry echoed, bringing Kakashi back as he looked at his other two students. What happened here? Said Kakashi, who walked towards them. It was Naruto, he just went crazy on Sasuke-kun, said Sakura, who was trembling. He was scary. Kakashi's eyes went wide. She is lying, said a voice behind him. It was Kira as she looked at Sakura with eyes narrowed. Kira just went past Naruto and she was surprised he didn't notice her. What, I'm not lying anyway, who are you? Said Sakura, who started to raise her tone at the beautiful woman before her. Kira didn't like her tone. Not one bit. Sakura, tell me the truth, said Kakashi, who grabbed her shoulder, making the pink-haired girl flinch. Sasuke looked to be brooding as he just sat there. Sakura bit her lip as she looked at the right. Both Kakashi and Kasara looked at the direction she was looking at, and all they saw was a broken bowl on the ground as liquid was flowing out of it. Sakura then reluctantly confessed to the two before her. Naruto-kun, yelled Ayame as she saw Naruto, who was walking with his hands on his pockets. Ayame, groaned Naruto, looking at his friend as he held his belly. Naruto-kun, how was training? Before Ayame got a reply, Naruto just ran away from her, making her eyes go wide. Naruto-kun, wait. Ayame held out her right hand at the fleeing figure of Naruto. Naruto managed to leave Ayame as he then stopped because his belly was rumbling. He held his belly as at each passing rumbling it made him even angrier. Naruto clenched his fists as he wanted to kill the bastard. How dare he do that? Naruto remembered what happened as he clenched his teeth. Flashback. Arg. Naruto yawned as he woke up, stretching. He looked at the side of his bed and Kasara was nowhere in sight. He got dressed as he then went to the living room, then to the kitchen. She wasn't there. Where did she go? Naruto looked at the clock and it was 11 o'clock. He then opened the fridge as he looked at the food that contained it. He sweat dropped. I don't know how to cook. He then went to the cupboard to get his ramen, but the closet just didn't open. His eyes then went wide as he recollected to what happened. Naruto, from now on you will not eat ramen but real food. Damn you, Kasara. His belly rumbled as Naruto groaned. Might as well go to training, sighed Naruto as he left to go out. On his way out, as he opened the door, he saw Ayame, who tried to knock. Their eyes met. Delivery, giggled Ayame. This made Naruto's eyes go wide. Ramen has yet again saved the day. The two best friends were sitting outside enjoying the sunshine. So Ayame, not because I don't want you to be here, but why are you here? Ayame looked at her best friend and smiled. To feed you, silly. She then opened the plastic bag holding back the ramen, much to Naruto's ire. She brought out the ramen, but this time it looked different. No, the thing that was different was the bowl. It looked to be homemade. Ah, you mean this? Giggled Ayame at the hungry look Naruto was giving the ramen. Naruto nodded. It's for you. Naruto looked to be confused. I know you have a bowl, but this bowl will be your always get go ramen bowl, exclaimed Ayame as Naruto just sweat dropped comically. Here Naruto, and good luck in training today. Naruto was touched. No one ever did a thing like this for him, and here is his first friend doing this for him. Naruto froze. Naruto-kun, you alright? Ayame worriedly asked as she then all of a sudden got hugged by Naruto. She was in shock as she felt the warm feeling Naruto was giving her, making her blush. I will keep this close to me forever. Ayame was in euphoria. Naruto then took his ramen. Ayame, I will take this to training, thanks. Naruto then ran off with the ramen in tow. Ayame was left alone as she held herself together, thinking about her best friend, each thought making her blush. Are you even listening, Naruto baka? Screamed Sakura as she all this time tried to hit him but didn't even land a hit, which irritated her to no end. Naruto sat down as he was enjoying the ramen Ayame made for him. The blonde delinquent smiled as he was happy, a feeling he didn't feel often. Naruto didn't notice Sasuke standing in front of him as the Uchiha was looking smugly at him. Fight me, Dobi. Naruto looked at him swallowing his ramen. Sure, when Kakashi comes we spar. Sasuke didn't like Naruto's answer as for some reason the air felt tense, only Sakura felt it as she gulped. Dobi, fight me now, I don't want to repeat myself again. Sasuke looked pissed as he was shaking. Naruto ignored him as he was just eating his ramen waiting for his teacher to come. Then all of a sudden his ramen flew in the air. Naruto's eyes widened in horror at the bowl, which shattered when it hit the ground. The shocked blonde looked at the shattered bowl Ayame made for him. It's for you. I know you have a bowl, but this bowl will be your always get go ramen bowl. He looked at Sasuke, who was smirking victoriously. Naruto then snapped. He lunged at the Uchiha. End of flashback. Naruto sighed. Ayame, I failed you, I'm sorry. His belly rumbled. He then felt someone behind him as he heard dogs. Naruto-kun, fancy seeing you here. Naruto turned around and saw Inuzuka Hana and her 3 dogs. His belly then grumbled in hunger again. Naruto just lightly chuckled in embarrassment. Hana looked at him and then took him away, shocking Naruto. Restaurant. Naruto froze as he looked at the food at his table. What's wrong, Naruto-kun? Naruto kept looking at his food. You sure? I don't have the money. Hana giggled. Don't worry about that, it's all taken care of. Naruto was unsure but didn't want to disappoint and also was too hungry to care. Thanks. He then started to munch. Yo, Hana, greeted Anko, who stumbled upon her friend who was eating with someone. You on a date? Hana blushed lightly, making Anko smirk. Anko looked at the person who was eating at the other side of the table. Naruto, is that you? Shouldn't you be training? Can't talk. Eating. Hana giggled. Anko just sweat dropped as she sighed and then joined the two, much to Hana's disappointment. Yuhi Kurenai finished her team's training. Kiba and Hinata went to train some more and Shino went home. Naruto didn't come today as she waited, but he didn't come. Maybe he's still training. Kakashi is always late after all. It was still afternoon as she decided to see Anko, who was at the restaurant they always meet at. When she got there, she heard laughter and saw Hana and Anko enjoying themselves while they talked with Naruto. Wait, Naruto. So you put the kid in a hole? Laughed Anko and Hana giggled. Hey, he deserved it, and besides got to stand up for myself, said Naruto. Hey everyone. Kurenai greeted. Naruto looked at her. Oh, sorry I didn't come today, had a lot of things on my mind. Kurenai nodded. That's alright. Anko looked on as she noticed what was going on. Oh, Kurenai-chan having a rendezvous with the tornado, said Anko sultry at the word rendezvous, making her friend blush. Anko, it's not like that. Hana's eyes narrowed at the red-eyed Junin while Naruto just ate his meal, oblivious to the whole situation. So what were you guys talking about? Kurenai wanted to change the subject, which worked as Anko took the bait. So Naruto, one question, do you know any Yakuza? Naruto just sweat dropped. Kakashi sighed. He and Kira were looking for Naruto everywhere and he was nowhere to be found. Let's look at the ramen stand again. Kakashi and Kira went past the restaurant as they too heard laughter and noises. Kasara's eyes went wide as she saw Naruto talking to Kurenai, Anko and another girl, and they were enjoying themselves. There he is, why don't we? Kasara just walked past him, completely ignoring him, leaving Kakashi confused. The group stopped talking as they saw Kasara. Kasara smirked as she saw Naruto's shocked face. Kira-san, what's up? Said Anko, making Naruto sweat even more. Kasara smiled sweetly. Nothing, Anko, so what are you all doing? Anko giggled as she flung her left hand on Naruto's shoulders. We are having fun, aren't we, Naruto? Naruto looked to be frozen. Hey Naruto, hello. Anko snapped her fingers as she woke the blonde man up. Oh yeah, hey. Kasara smirked. Hana then suddenly got up as she stood before Kasara. Inuzuka Hana, I don't believe we met. Kasara looked at her hand that was extended. Naruto gulped, knowing her personality. Kasara just smiled. Yagashi Kira, and took her hand. Naruto sighed in relief. How do you know Naruto? Naruto's eyes went wide as Hana blushed. Kasara's eyes narrowed as she wanted to know more. Hey everyone, Kakashi greeted as he then looked at Naruto. Now Naruto, let's go back to training. Naruto got up and went to Kakashi's face. I see you tomorrow. Naruto just walked past him, but Kakashi grabbed his arm. Naruto, you don't want to disobey your commanding officer, don't you? Naruto just looked at him. Everyone became silent as Kasara's eyes narrowed at the tense atmosphere. Naruto looked at Kakashi. You obviously don't know me very well, I see you tomorrow, and then took his hand out of the copy ninja's grasp, then walked off. Naruto, Kurenai screamed, fearing for his safety as this may be considered as insubordination. Kurenai got up. Well, why doesn't Naruto train with me today so he can cool off? Kakashi nodded as he looked angry. Still, Naruto, we will see the Hokage tomorrow. Kakashi then shunshined away back to his team. What the hell is wrong with you? Screamed Anko at Naruto, who had his back turned. You're lucky Kurenai helped you, or you would be having a meeting with the council and the Hokage to decide your future, said Hana sternly. TCH future, Naruto chuckled. Don't make me laugh, as he then left, leaving the group stunned. Kurenai sat back to her seat as she let go the breath she was holding. What was that about? Said Enko as she looked at Kira. Do you know? Said Hana. Kira sighed inwardly disturbed in what happened today, Naruto-kun. To show her friendship she told them what happened making the group's eyes wide. Just for a ramen and he got angry, sighed Enko. Well maybe there is more to it, said Kurenai. A bag was heard falling in the ground. Everyone looked as they saw a shocked Ayame who turned around and ran off. Training Ground 7. Crash, the training post was smashed to pieces. Naruto was huffing as he used all his energy trying to lose some stress. Decide my future. I have no future. It was decided on the day I was born. The former Kyuubi vessel now vassal clenched his bleeding right hand. He turned around and walked home. At the Uzumaki's apartment, Naruto went to his front door and saw someone there. It was Kiba. How did he know where I live? He looked to be pissed as he punched Naruto's door. Hey, I'm the one that's paying for that. Kiba turned around as he smiled suddenly. Naruto, I need your help. It's Hinata. Kiba started to panic as he gestured Naruto to come with him. Before that, Naruto went inside his apartment to get bandages for his right hand as he then left with. At the Hyuga compound, Kiba told Naruto what happened. Apparently while he and Hinata were training they stumbled upon her sister and her dad. Her dad then started berating her saying why is she with him, saying Kiba quoted, why are you with this mutt, why do you keep disgracing me girl? Hinata looked to be in tears as she was taken away. So here is what we do. Silence ensued as Kiba didn't know what to do. Naruto sighed, why don't we just go in and knock? Both boys went to the front gate and pressed the alarm. A branch servant answered as Kiba replied, thus they let him in. It sound too easy, thought Naruto. The boys went inside as Hinata quickly came out. Kiba-kun, na Naruto-kun. Hinata blushed as Naruto greeted. Hey Hinata, let's go train. This time Naruto will train with us. Hinata blushed at what Kiba said. Naruto looked shocked as he wanted to rest. A branch servant came to the gate where they were. Hiyashi-sama will see you now. Hinata and Kiba froze while Naruto just raised his eyebrows. He looked at Hinata and Kiba and shrugged. Well, why don't we see what he wants? Hinata trembled as Kiba gulped. At a meeting room where Hiyashi is located, the group slid the Japanese-like door open as they saw Hiyashi kneeling down with a table containing refreshments. Sit. Hiyashi ordered as the group sat down. Now what do you want? Naruto looked at Kiba as the dog boy gulped. Well, we are here for Hinata to train with us. Hinata looked to be trembling at her father's cold gaze and then he just chuckled, making both Kiba and Hinata gulp while Naruto looked to be drinking his tea. You want to train with this disappointment? Very well, you may train with her. Kiba looked to be happy at Hiyashi's approval. However, Naruto and Hinata felt but coming. However, Naruto sighed, I would like to ask why Hinata and not Hanabi. Hinata looked downcast. Because she is our friend, screamed Kiba as he slammed the table, alerting branch members. Naruto was on guard as Kiba was looking Hiyashi right in the eye. Boy, you should know your place and keep quiet. Naruto interrupted, Hiyashi-san, are you going to let us or not? Hiyashi looked at Naruto as he inwardly scowled, I decided to not allow her. What but you just said? Screamed Kiba as Naruto gestured for him to be quiet. It's alright Kiba, he has the right to change his mind. Naruto got up. Let's go, don't want to be here any longer. Naruto looked at Hiyashi and smirked, see you later Hinata. So she friends with a scum like you? I'm not surprised. Naruto stopped and turned around to look at him. You don't know me, so you could keep your opinions to yourself. Kiba and Hinata's eyes went wide to the way Naruto was speaking to the Hyuga clan head. Boy, do you know who you are speaking to? Naruto chuckled. See, I don't know you just as you don't know me, so we both should keep our opinions to ourselves. Hiyashi scowled as then Hanabi came in. Father, you should just leave this scum and mud before he infests the whole room. Hiyashi smirked. HMPH, a pathetic nobody like you isn't worth it. Hey, leave Naruto alone. Kiba decided to help his new friend while Hinata looked even sadder. Naruto smiled at Kiba. HMPH, grunted Hiashi as Naruto and Kiba then left to go outside. Then Hinata got the courage to go with them. Naruto-kun, Kiba-kun, both boys stopped. However, someone interrupted. Hinata-san, you should just listen to Hiashi-sama and leave the scum alone, said a main branch Hyuga who had a well-groomed hair. Takao-san, Hinata muttered as suddenly Naruto came up to the Hyuga. They looked at one another as the Hyuga smirked. HMPH, there is nothing you can do, you trash, as I'm a main branch Hyuga, smirked Takao proudly. Naruto smiled as suddenly he bended over, lucky 100 yen, as he accidentally pushed Takao as he fell to the ground. The Hyuga got up to hit Naruto. You dare! Takao attempted to punch Naruto in the face, but the blonde man ducked and then done a hard uppercut right on his chin. Takao flew right to the door that Hiashi was in. Hinata gasped. Kiba jaw hit the ground. Every Hyuga that gathered gasped. The door had a ripped hole in it as Takao crashed into the table Hiashi was sitting in. Hiashi got up looking at Naruto as he scowled while he held Hanabi. Naruto smirked. Delivery, as he laughed at the scowl Hiashi and Hanabi was giving me. Hinata, from now on you can train with me anytime, after all we are friends, smiled Naruto as he grabbed Hinata's shoulders. Also forget this guy, you're a great person, said Naruto as he pointed at Hiashi. Then he left with Kiba running after him. Hinata did all she can not to faint as she mentally promised herself to not let Naruto down. Ever. Man, that was so cool. Kiba was awestruck as he was laughing at what happened. Hey. Kiba looked at Naruto as he looked at Kiba. You know he started it, right? Kiba nodded. Yeah, he tried to punch you and you retaliated with a counter. Kiba tried to copy Naruto's uppercut. Naruto chuckled. Hokage's office. Sarutobi and Kakashi discussing on what happened. Sir, what should you do? Sarutobi sighed. Well, from what you said, he should train with Kurenai for a while. After all, the team may need time to cool off. Kakashi tried to protest as Sarutobi cut him off. Kakashi, Naruto had all the rights to do what he did, because if he did come with you he won't be able to control himself. He might beat Sasuke even more, and I don't want that on my case. Kakashi nodded reluctantly. However, Kakashi, what did Naruto feel about you? Nothing, sir, he was just angry. Kakashi wanted to keep to what Naruto said about him and Sasuke to himself as he felt that he could deal with it. Alright, dismissed. Kakashi nodded as he sunshined. Sarutobi sighed. Naruto, what can I do about you? Sir, the Hyugas were attacked by Naruto, barged in and lion-masked Anbu. Sarutobi's eyes went wide. At the restaurant with Kasara and Co. Yugao, what happened? Said Kurenai as she looked at her Anbu friend all geared up. Yugao took off her mask. It's Naruto, he attacked the Hyuga. Everyone's eyes went wide as they went with Yugao. What did you do now, Naruto? Was what everyone was thinking. At the ramen stand, well on the way there. Kiba and Naruto we still hanging around as Naruto saw Ayame who looked to be sad. Kiba, go on ahead, I need to do something. Kiba nodded as he went to the ramen stand. Ayame looked at Naruto as she looked to be crying. Naruto thought she was angry at him, tried to explain, but suddenly the girl hugged him. Why would you do that, you idiot? Naruto as he held her responded. I promised I will keep it but broke it in day. Hey, chuckled Naruto dryly. Ayame wasn't amused as she smacked his head. Ouch, what was that for? I could make another one for you, and that's for getting angry. Naruto gulped at the glare she was giving him. She suddenly hugged him again, shocking Naruto. Thanks. Naruto was confused. For what? Ayame quickly turned around. Naruto, come, let me and dad make you ramen. Naruto being Naruto rushed in the ramen stand. Ayame giggled as she shook her head and went in. Hey Naruto, you want to come to my house again? Naruto sighed. Sure, I could come tomorrow, today was a tiring day. Kiba nodded as Ayame and her dad were washing the plates. Suddenly a group of people came in the ramen stand. It was Kasara, the Junins and Hana. Yo sis, said Kiba as Naruto nodded at the group before him. Yugao went to Naruto and quickly apprehended his arms as Naruto gave no struggle. This shocked Kiba and the Ichirakus. Uzumaki Naruto, you are under arrest for grievous bodily harm. On what grounds? Said Tsuki sternly at the Anbu. For attacking the Hyugas. Ayame nearly fainted and Tsuki almost had a heart attack. What, but Naruto didn't do anything, screamed Kiba. This interested the group. Alright Kiba, what happened? Said Kurenai to her student as Kiba then told everyone what happened. He helped Hinata, thought Kurenai as she felt sad for her student but proud at Naruto for helping the girl she sees as a little sister. He helped Kiba out. Hana was touched. He stood against the Hyuga clan, thought Kasara as she knew the clan to be arrogant assholes with god complexes second to the Uchihas. She smirked. Her mate always impressed her with his fearlessness. His punch made a guy go 6 feet without chakra, said Enko thinking out loud. This made everyone sweat drop. Nevertheless, he will be taken as the Hokage requested. Yugao although felt reluctant but still took Naruto, who screamed, I need a lawyer. Everyone's sweat dropped. Ayame can be seen biting her lip as even though Naruto joked around, this was a serious matter and he knew that. Council meeting room. The council was in an uproar. Well, the civilian anyways. First the Uchiha, now this all in one day. He needs to be restrained at once. He will not get away with this, screamed Haruno Sakuya. Let's just get Naruto here and then we will decide then, said Shikaku. Sume nodded as she just wanted to go home as she had the house all to herself for the first time. Can't I watch my soaps in peace? Thought Sume. Yes, she watched soaps. Anyone who had a problem can kiss her dogs. Kaharu, Homura and Danzo looked in thought while thinking of a plan to deal with the brat. An Anbu whispered something to Sarutobi's ear as everyone looked at their Hokage. It would seem that Naruto is here with Yugao. Send him in, ordered Sakuya as the Hokage narrowed his eyes at her, making her shut up. Send him in. Naruto came in with Yugao holding him. Naruto looked at Yugao as he whispered, unless you're in S&M then don't let go. Yugao blushed under her mask and quickly let go of him. He chuckled. Sarutobi coughed. Naruto, do you what you have done? Naruto nodded. Yeah, I know. Anything to say, brat, said Sakuya as Naruto narrowed his eyes at her. Simple self-defense. The room became silent as then the civilian council roared. Bullshit, you attacked him first. He is a Hyuga, he doesn't resort to violence like an animal like you. Silence, roared Sarutobi, making the civilian shut up in fear due the killer intent that the Hokage was emitting. So Naruto, any proof you have to back up your claim? Naruto nodded as he said to ask Kiba or Hinata. My pup, he was there. Naruto nodded as suddenly Yugao stepped forward. Yes, cat, said Sarutobi. Sir, this is what Kiba-san reported to me. Thus Yugao told them what Kiba told her. The civilians didn't believe him as they protested. Are you calling my pup a liar? Screamed Sume, not liking her son's honor being insulted. The other clan heads minus the Hiashi nodded in agreement. Let's all ask Hiashi and see what he thinks, said Kaharu. Everyone looked at the Hyuga clan head as he was clasping his hands together in thought. The evidence is correct. The civilian looked glum. However, Naruto rolled his eyes at the familiar remark. The damages must be paid in full. The civilian smirked. Naruto shrugged. Sure, I will pay using my mission money. Hiashi chuckled. Naruto, it's not done this way, said Sarutobi while Naruto looked at the old man questionably. You have to work off your debt. What about the other guy, does he get away with it? Sarutobi shook his head. Regardless of his injuries, he will also face the same fate. What is my fate? Troublesome it's Shikaku as Naruto looked expectantly. Thanks to the evidence you provided, you were the victim, so you will get the easy punishment, frowned Kaharu as Homura also looked displeased. What is my punishment? Naruto hated to wait. It's Sarutobi was about to carry on. As the sun was setting, a blonde-haired boy wearing a cleaner's uniform can be seen wiping the wall, getting rid of tattoos. People were surrounding him. Serves the baka right, laughed Ino as Sakura nodded in agreement. Some civilians also agreed. Yo, Tornado, how's being Konoha's cleaner for the whole week? Ahahaha, serves you right, laughed the civilians. Naruto tried his best ignoring the jeers and laughter at him. He sighed as he was not allowed to use any ninja techniques. But suddenly someone stood next to him. This person was wearing an apron ready to clean. "Hey, you're not alone in this, Naruto-kun, let's get this done and dusted," said Ayame with mop with her hands. "Hey, you're not allowed to help him," said a rat Anbu. "I don't answer your Hokage, let's go, Naruto-kun." The Anbu looked ready to protest, but Yugao stopped him. Naruto was touched. Ayame, the woman, smiled as they started cleaning together to nightfall, having conversations while people bit by bit disappeared. Naruto took Ayame home as both were very tired. At the Uzumaki's apartment, Naruto sighed as he finally got home. Man, what a day. He then went to the living room. As he turned on the light, as soon he did that, he saw Kasara with food on the table. "I thought you would be hungry," said Kasara as Naruto smiled. "You know I'm never too full," making Kasara giggle as they ate together. 1 week later. As time went on, Naruto's community service came to an end, as that and the D-rank missions almost made him insane. They were at the Hokage Tower as they finally apprehended that blasted cat Tora. "Why can't I do other missions, expect these ones?" said Naruto. "Absolutely no way, Naruto, you are not ready for any real missions," said Iruka, raising his voice. Naruto's eyes narrowed as he was about to carry on, but stopped as Kakashi held his shoulder while he read his orange book. Sarutobi smoked his pipe as he sighed. "Send him in." Then a drunken man came in. "Your C-rank mission is to protect this man." The Sandaime gestured the team to old man that came in. "What's this?" The old man had gray hair, a mustache with a small beard, and was well built. There was a sake bottle in his hand as he was drunk. "This is my protection," Tazuna said. "Look like a bunch of brats, especially the pink one with the Barbie look, but the blonde looks cool." Sakura fumed while Naruto smirked. "Ma, Sakura, calm down, don't kill the person we are trying to protect, nay." Kakashi I smiled as he held the pink-haired Kunoichi back. Naruto just nodded at the old man as he nodded back. "Who are you?" "I am the super expert bridge builder, Tazuna. I expect you to provide me super protection until I get back to my country and complete my bridge," Tazuna stated. Naruto then asked, "What kind of sake is that and how strong is it?" "Blondie, it is so strong that I'm drunk right now." Naruto nodded while everyone's sweat dropped. Kakashi coughed to get his team's first client's attention. "Despite their age, Tazuna-san, I'm sure my genin can handle this mission. And even if something they can't handle it, I will personally handle it," Kakashi told the bridge builder as Sakura glared at him while Sasuke had his usual broody look. Tazuna nodded. "All right team, let's get ready and meet at the front gate," said Kakashi as everyone nodded and went to prepare. At the Uzumaki's apartment. "So you're going?" Naruto nodded to his wife. "Everything's set." Naruto nodded. "Toothbrush?" Naruto nodded. "Ration?" Naruto nodded. "Clothes?" Naruto nodded. "Enough, I have everything." Kasara sighed as she then took out a tablet set and gave it to Naruto. "What's this?" Naruto looking at the small red tablets. "Trust me, you will need this. It's something only you can use. Use it on your most important moment." "Thanks, Kasara, gotta go, bye." Naruto kissed her and ran off, leaving his wife alone. What should I do now?" contemplated Kasara as she went back inside. The team got together as they quickly left, each having thoughts about their new mission. "HRN Itachi, I will be one step closer to reaching you. Naruto, I will beat you no matter what it takes. I must be strong to impress Sasuke-kun. Sensei, I won't let you down and get this team killed even if I must apprehend your wild legacy." I wonder if Tsunami will be surprised. A particular someone, well, he was listening to music. Silver Sun pickups. Panic switch. Time. It's never worth my time. Blue shine. Bleeds into my eyes. I still sleep on the right side of the white noise. Can't leave the scene behind. Could I be anything you want me to be? It's always meant to be seen. When you see yourself in a crowded room, do your fingers itch? Are you pistol whipped? Will you step in line or release the glitch? Can you fall asleep with a panic switch? And when you see yourself in a crowded room, do your fingers itch? Are you pistol whipped? Will you step in line or release the glitch? Do you think she'll sleep with the panic? Naruto looked determined as his music was loud in his ear. I think I'm ready this time, world. Not knowing that this mission will change their lives, no, the whole shinobi world as they know it. As the group were walking in a pathway towards Wave, everybody was doing their own business. Sakura fawning over Sasuke. Sasuke was quiet as a mouse as usual, and Kakashi was giggling while engrossed on his orange book. This is my protection. Tazuna suddenly sighed as he then looked at the black jacket wearing blonde who apparently looked alert even though he had headphones on. Is he listening to music? Sweat dropped the bridge builder as he looked at Naruto. Well, Tazuna assumed wrong. Naruto shut down his music the moment they left the gates. The boy in question came up to Tazuna. Hey Asen, what's the land of waves like? Well, I'm a well-accomplished bridge builder for my countries. Naruto nodded at the proud man. So due to your accomplishments people want you dead. Tazuna flinched. Naruto, you baka. It's an escort mission, not an assassination. Sakura scowled at the idiot for saying stupid things. That's right, Naruto, we are just escorting Tazuna, that is all. Kakashi then started to giggle while he was reading his orange book. Sasuke was silent as he was in deep thought. The blonde is smart. Tazuna was impressed at the kid for putting 2 and 2 together. I hope they don't find out, sighed Tazuna as he hoped they will get to Wave a lot faster. Naruto shrugged as he put on his headphones. Yo kid, Naruto looked up at Tazuna who looked secretive. Come here. Naruto nodded as he went to Tazuna. Kakashi looked at them with a calculative eye. What is it? Said Naruto in a hushed voice. Tazuna smirked. You like to drink? Naruto raised his eyebrow. I'm not an alcoholic, old man. Tazuna shrugged. Sweet yourself, I have the strongest drink with me. Then old man brought out a medium-sized bottle with a black, gold and white with a grain logo. Naruto's eyes went considerably wide. This was noticed by Tazuna as he smirked. Is that? Naruto's voice quivered looking at the old man who nodded as he gave the boy a funny smile. But that's illegal, whispered Naruto closely to Tazuna while Kakashi looked to be going to the 2. Nope, not in Wave it isn't. Naruto froze. What? Everclear is legal there, I heard people die drinking that. Tazuna suddenly laughed out loud. It depends how you drink it, boy. But that stuff is poison, protested Naruto. Thought you don't drink? Naruto just ignored him, making the old man smile widely. You alright kid, I like you. Mahu doesn't drink. Kakashi interrupted too, making them both jump. Tazuna quickly disposed the drink. Just establishing a client and employer relationship, said Naruto. Tazuna furiously nodded his head in agreement. Kakashi looked at the 2 suspiciously as he then resumed reading. Kakashi-sensei, do they have shinobi in Wave Country? Sakura asked. No, not in Nami no Kuni, as their ways are different, but hidden villages do exist and they also have ninjas. Kakashi looked at her lazily but was mentally sighing as to why he is doing a lecture and not reading his precious book. In this world the existence of a shinobi village means military power. So with this in mind they maintain balance, fighting to gain advantage over each other. There are hidden villages but they get funded by the country's government, for example Konoha we Leaf Shinobi's answer to the Hokage, where he in time must answer to the feudal lord of Fire Country. There are many hidden villages but there are 5 main ones which are the 5 strongest. The 5 are Konoha, Kumo, Kiri, Suna and Iwa Wio. All are the largest and most powerful, as they are commonly referred as the 5 great shinobi villages. Thanks to that title they receive individual titles called Kage. Kakashi then looked at everyone who were listening intently. Apart from Naruto, the 5 Kages are the Hokage, Fire Shadow, Mizukage, Water Shadow, Raikage, Lightning Shadow, Kazekage, Wind Shadow, and Tsuchikage, Stone Shadow. They have over thousands of ninjas in the world. Sakura nodded, putting word by word in her head while Sasuke grunted and Tazuna tried to drink but Naruto was stopping him. Hey, stop that. Do it when you get home. Arg kid, I ain't no. Kakashi sighed. He looked at Sakura who looked worried. Sakura, don't worry, there won't be any enemy ninjas on a C-ranked mission. Kakashi touched her shoulder reassuringly. Then, We won't come into contact with any foreign ninjas? Sakura asked with a mental sigh of relief. That's right, Kakashi was already reading his book as the pink-haired girl's sweat dropped. The group walked on in relative silence with a few whispers of conversation until they approached a puddle in the middle of the road. Kakashi noticed but pretended not to. The group walked past the puddle while Tazuna and Naruto kept arguing, completely ignoring the puddle. Then out of the blue, two shinobis came out of the puddle, completely catching the team off guard. They were fast, cloaked, and had some kind of chain between in one hand and attached to clawed metal gauntlets on one of each of their other arm. Everyone barely had time to gasp as the two unknown figures whipped the bladed chain around Kakashi with at least 5 loops and pulled it tight, pinning him in place. First for the masked man. One of the two, both wearing mechanical masks and Hittite, growled out as they pulled. There was a tearing sound, a distortion, and pieces were shredded as Kakashi fell to the ground in a kick-up of a dirt cloud. Sakura screamed in horror. Tazuna gasped with a look of panic. Sasuke's eyes went wide and Naruto froze. And now for the target. One of them chuckled with vicious maliciousness as they rushed at Tazuna, who froze. As the chains now flew at Tazuna, who was too close for comfort and knew it was too late, closed his eyes. Damn, I'm sorry everyone. Tazuna knew it was the end for him. Silence. Tazuna didn't feel anything. This time there was another tearing sound as Tazuna opened his eyes to look. Right at front of him was the blonde kid Naruto, who had the chains wrapped on his right hand, which was bleeding furiously, ripping his jacket. TCH, grunted Naruto as the chain held his right hand tight. Naruto then pulled the chain hard, making the chain snap in two. This shocked the two ninjas. Sasuke used this opportunity and landed on the two ninja, grabbing at their restrained arms and kicking them in their faces. Unfortunately, even as his kicks landed, it made no effect as the two attacker tried to hit the Uchiha, but he jumped back. The two attackers then immediately dashed around towards Sakura, this time who screamed. From nowhere, Kakashi jumped in front of Sakura with a drawn kunai in an attempt to defend her. The two ninjas quickly turned around to flee from him, but then one of them felt a chain wrap his right hand. He turned around and saw Naruto, who held him tight. Here, have your chain back. Although Naruto's right hand had the blades of the chain on him, the chain he threw on the ninja still managed to hold his right hand. Kakashi used this opportunity to subdue the other ninja as he caught the ninja off guard. What? The ninja was surprised of the copy ninja's speed, as all he saw was darkness. Gozu! Screamed the other ninja to his comrade as he couldn't move. Why you? The ninja who was focusing on Naruto didn't know that Sasuke came behind him as he then launched a spin kick to his right temple, making him move to the side. Naruto then quickly pulled the ninja to him painfully as the man was dragged towards him. Arg! Naruto kneed the ninja as he quickly used the chain and wrapped it around him. The scene then ended with the ninja on the ground wrapped with a chain, which Naruto held it all together with his bleeding right hand. Well done, Sasuke. Naruto's eyes narrowed at Kakashi with Sakura, who was agreeing with him. Thanks, Naruto, said Tazuna, making said boy nod at his appreciation while he held his right hand. Is your hand okay? Naruto nodded. It's alright. He then ripped part of his white shirt and then wrapped it around him to stop the bleeding and not get infections. I'm glad the chain wasn't laced with poison, not knowing the gauntlet was the weapon laced with poison. The scene changed as the two now conscious ninjas were held together at a tree. So you are Gozu and Maizu, the Oni Kyodai, demon brothers, missing nins from Kurigakure no Sato. This shocked the two ninjas. Ma, don't be surprised you screamed out Gozu's name, which made it easier for me to find your identity, said Kakashi. Kakashi started to leave, but Naruto stopped him. Hey, aren't we going to deal with them? Let's leave them, Naruto, the patrols will pick them up. Naruto was displeased, but HRN Dobi, you didn't even do anything, all you did was freeze like a coward, taunted Sasuke. Sakura also smirked. Whatever, Uchiha, you can take your wannabe damsel in distress and go to your emo castle, taunted Naruto right back. Sakura fumed and Sasuke scowled. Nice one, Naruto, laughed Tazuna. Enough, Naruto. Tazuna-san, you have some explaining to do as to why you lied to us, said Kakashi. Looked serious at his client for the offense he caused. Tazuna started to sweat. I lied about the mission, but I had no choice. Wave had been taken over by a corporate tyrant known as Gato. Naruto's eyes went wide at that. Gato of Gato Corporation, he is one of the richest man in the world, Tazuna nodded. Yes, he controls all the shipping lanes around Nami no Kuni now. His thugs run rampant over our entire country doing whatever they please, and our economy has suffered greatly. We can't even afford a decent meal because Gato is draining the country dry. Naruto nodded, listening intently. He is getting away with it because he is legal. Everybody was looking at him now. You know a lot about Gato, Naruto, said Kakashi, who warily looked at his student. Naruto raised his eyebrow at the one-eyed Junin. You all don't watch the news. Everyone just kept looking at him for answers. The blonde man sighed. The news know the world see him as a good man and that he is changing Wave for the better. Tazuna scowled at what the world see that scum as. If what you say is true, then why does he want to kill you? A bridge builder. Tazuna nodded at Naruto. I'm building a bridge that is our only way to break free from his tyranny, and the only protection mission we could afford was AC rank. Tazuna explained. Nevertheless, our task was to simply get you to your destination, and guard you while you finish constructing your bridge. If we had known we would be fielding attacks from ninja, we would have staffed a different squad and charged for the cost of AB mission. Even if you had your own reasons, lying to us about the mission is unacceptable, not to mention a bad idea when you're asking for help. The task itself falls beyond the boundaries of the job we were assigned. Tazuna looked to be broken at what Kakashi was implying. We're not ready for this kind of mission. Let's quit so Hokage-sama can send a proper team to accomplish the mission. Sakura added, since she was terrified at fighting enemy ninjas. No. Everyone looked at Naruto, who was shaking. I'm not running away, not now or ever. Naruto, this isn't a game you could get killed, said Sakura at the idiot who is trying to play hero. Naruto looked at the pink-haired girl in disgust. You think helping those in need is a game? Sakura's eyes went wide. You treat your whole life as a game, putting on makeup and playing dress-up. Don't you dare lecture me. Sakura froze as Naruto was berating her. Enough, Naruto, we are leaving. Kakashi could not be persuaded, looking at Sakura as she was about to cry. No. Leave without me, I'm going with the builder. Tazuna looked at Naruto in awe. Kid. The old man was moved. Naruto, I had enough of your. Kakashi was about to scold his sensei's legacy, but the boy interrupted. You say that those who abandon the mission are trash, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than trash. Well, I'm neither, and I won't abandon Tazuna to die. Kakashi's eyes went wide as he remembered Obito. The Dobi is right, if he stays I stay, said Sasuke, also not budging to leave. Sasuke. Kakashi looked at Sakura, who's shaking, but it's dangerous. Sakura, we are ninjas, it's our job to face other ninjas, said Sasuke as he easily persuaded the pink girl. Okay, we are all staying, said Sakura. Besides, Sasuke-kun and sensei will protect me. Alright kids, Tazuna, we accept the mission now, give us the details, said Kakashi. I must let Hokage-sama know about this. Tazuna nodded. Naruto's narrowed, so he only listens to Uchiha Tisk. Naruto kissed his teeth, by which Kakashi noticed from afar. Gato runs a large shipping company, but he also, without anyone's knowledge, sells drugs and conducts prostitution. He uses his wealth to have ninjas and gang members to take over businesses and countries. Tears enveloped Tazuna's eyes as he wiped his glasses. He is a cruel man. In a year he took over Wave Country through owning the shipping industry. Gato now owns everything in the country, and the only thing he has to fear now is the completion of the bridge. Tazuna replied with determination. I see. Since you're the one building the bridge, you're in his way. Sakura deduced. Naruto rolled his eyes. He basically told us that. Okay everyone, let's all head out quickly before enemy ninjas come. Everyone nodded at their leader as they quickly left. Thanks to a friend of Tazuna's, Team 7 found themselves on a wooden boat being rowed along by a fisherman friend of Tazuna's. The team and co were told to be quiet as it was an illegal travel and it will be trouble. This mist is so thick can't even see a thing, quietly spoke Naruto as the group now stumbled upon a huge bridge. Wow, what a big bridge, spoke Sakura in awe. I can't take you any farther than this, I wish you good luck. The fisherman said as he perched before rowing back the way they came. It's alright, you have to protect your families anyway, thanks for the ride. Tazuna sighed in relief as they continued walking. If we get attacked again, it will surely be a Junin-ranked ninja and not a Chunin-ranked one, Kakashi thought. Guess I won't be reading for a while. As group were walking, there was something coming from the bushes. There, Naruto threw a kunai right at the bush. Everyone tensed as he walked over slowly and revealed that it was just a white-colored rabbit. Naruto walked over and saw a small white rabbit cowering in fear against a tree, the kunai just inches away. Naruto Baka, how dare you? That to that poor rabbit. Sakura held the rabbit, hugging. White fur. But that's impossible, it isn't winter, Kakashi thought while Naruto thought of the same thing. Kakashi's eyes went wide. Substitution. Something was slicing through the air at frightening speed. Everyone get down, now. He shouted as the copy ninja pushed both Sakura and Sasuke to the ground. Naruto straightaway tackled Tazuna to the ground. The weapon in question sailed over them, as it began to curve before embedding itself in a tree. A tall man with bandages wrapped around the lower half of his face appeared on the hilt of the Zanbeitu, his back facing them. His forehead protector was off to the side of his head and he had no eyebrows. He wore 2 forearm warmers and he wore baggy pants with the same pattern, and black ninja sandals. He was shirtless, but had leather straps that could be used to hold his massive sword across his back. Zabuza Momochi, A-class missing nin of Kurigakure. Former member of the Mist 7 Swordsmen and Kurigakure no Kijin, Kakashi said, glaring at the man. Unseen by the others, Zabuza grinned darkly. Kakashi Hatake of the Sharingan I can see now why the demon brothers fail, and what's this? I also see you've taken a genin team of pathetic little wannabe ninjas, ha. Konoha, that village sure went down the drain. Now hand over the old man, I have a mission to execute him, Zabuza said evilly in his gruff, yet gleeful voice. Sharingan. Sasuke thought in surprise as he glared at his sensei for keeping such an important secret from him. Everyone protect Tazuna. I'll deal with Zabuza, Kakashi ordered as he grabbed his forehead protector. Slowly, he pulled it off, revealing the Uchiha bloodline. While I'm eager to end this fight as soon as possible, I must admit that I'm surprised how someone as powerful as you has fallen to serving a man like Gato. Money must be a big factor, huh? Zabuza grinned and shrugged as he began leaking out killing intent. The puny little man offered me a large sum of money. Plus, the chance of fighting someone at a level such as yours is indeed as a bonus. Also, watching your little brats squirm is going to be fun. Zabuza looked serious now, but enough talk. Hand over the old man, Kakashi. I don't think so. Kakashi snapped. Zabuza grinned and vanished before reappearing on top of the water, his hands also blurring through seals. I will end this quick. Kurigakure no Jutsu, hidden mist technique. Instantly, the already steam-covered area was enveloped in an even thicker mist, rendering it impossible for anyone to see. The group were all within a deep mist as they huddled closely together when they heard the evil chuckle of Zabuza. Be careful, everyone. Zabuza will probably go after me first, but he's also a master of silent killing. So, all of you stay on your toes. Kakashi whispered as he drew a kunai. Silent killing. Sakura sweated, fear evident in her voice. It's a killing technique that's executed quickly and in complete silence. It's possible that you'll be dead before you realize it. What's worse is that the mist limits my Sharingan potential. So whatever you do, don't let your guard down. Ha 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 ha. Zabuza's laughter can be heard in the mist. Tazuna flinched in fear, but Naruto held his shoulder. Tazuna looked at him as the boy was in deep concentration as he nodded, trying to ease the old man's fear. Tazuna nodded back at him. 8 points, a voice echoed around them, making everyone tense from the malice in the voice. Where is he? Naruto looked around as close as possible, not daring to lose his concentration. The killing intent that was now reaching in such a high level it started to suffocate Sakura and Sasuke as Naruto was taking deep breaths. What an intense thirst for blood. It feels like if I make one movement, he will kill me. I don't know how much longer I can take this, I can't do this any longer. Sasuke thought desperately as he brought and kunai held it closer to his neck. Sasuke, calm down. Don't worry, I'll protect the three of you with my life. I won't let anyone on my team die. The resolve in his tone of voice calmed the genins down a bit. Is that so? We will see about that, Zabuza said, disagreeing with Kakashi's proclamation. Naruto's senses were now pushed to their limits in an attempt to find him, but to no avail. The larynx, spine, lungs, liver, jugular vein, collarbone, kidney and heart. Now which vulnerable and delicious part shall I choose? The voice continued. Help me, someone help me. Sakura was shaking as she looked ready to cry. Like Sasuke, she too wanted to die. Kakashi held her shoulder tightly, making her flinch. I told you I will protect you all. This team cannot handle a mission like this. I need backup. But first need to get out of here. Tazuna, whispered Naruto. The old man looked at him. What, Naruto? Naruto smirked. I need your help in something, come here. Tazuna nodded. Yo Ninja Gaiden, Naruto shouted, alerting everyone and Zabuza. Naruto, what are you doing? Kakashi looked at the blonde boy. My job, that's what. You want the bridge builder? Well, he is right here. Naruto then took Tazuna's hand and then ran off. Naruto, screamed Kakashi as Sasuke and Sakura looked shocked. MPH, you want a hunt, you get it. Naruto, Zabuza is after you, run. Naruto ran while he had Tazan.